Hey, what's up everyone? This is going to be a demo video for a saber that is pretty well known on this channel because I have done a few videos on it. But this is my Cornhorn Courkrus saber that was designed by Benji over at Nerfherder Customs, and it was produced and distributed by Leon over at Jawa's Junkyard. This is installed with a Proffie. This has a taco chassis, 3 crystal brass chassis in it, right? A taco shop chassis. That's a mouthful. It is something that I actually did a walkthrough tutorial on. At the time, I was waiting for my brass parts to come in, so I haven't been able to do a demo until today. But now everything on this saber is complete, and I wanted to go over it and fire it up, right? It's always a little bit different when they're my own sabers. I've done one of these for Leon over at Jawa's Junkyard. He had the prototype chassis. There was a small adjustment made to that for some better speaker fitment. And then this one is the final version. All right, so this is a 2-button setup. You've got your red and green LEDs here. They're both plunger switches. And I made the green plunger my power switch. And of course, the red one will be my auxiliary. And then this has an external kill switch on it. Now, normally the kill switch would go inside of the holder right there. My particular kill switch, the housing on the actual kill switch was bowed out a little bit. I had a little bit of problems pushing that in. So I just opted to have it just like this. And that's something that doesn't bother me. But this saber is designed for that to sit all the way in flush. And I actually did that with Leon's with no problem. All right, it has nothing to do with the saber on this. It was the manufacturing of that actual kill switch. I knew it was a little bowed out when I started to install it, but I went ahead and I used it anyway because this is my own personal build and it's something I could live with. All right, this has a Shadow Foil Props lit PCB. I just absolutely love these things. I like putting them into my personal builds, so that's what we've got there. This does have some heat bluing on it, so this is stainless steel. This entire thing is stainless steel. I think it clocked in at around like 2 pounds, 11 ounces empty. And I'm not sure how heavy it is all installed, but it is a pretty hefty guy. I did do a little bit of weathering to the black part that was put onto the handle. So as you can see, that just kind of made it a little bit worn. I opted to do some heat staining towards the emitter, right? So you've got some heat bluing on these inner fins here, and then it kind of goes to a yellowish hue out here. So I went hotter on these 4 pieces and not as hot out here. And then I kind of tapered it off. I did not do any heat staining over here on the pommel, which I've seen my buddy Tim do. And I thought that looked really good. But my personal take on this saber was all of the heat was coming from the emitter because of the blade. So that's the only part that I heat stained. All right. How to get to this chassis, you just want to unscrew the handle. I said it before in my unboxing, so I've done an unboxing video for this guy. I did a walkthrough tutorial on this particular chassis, and now, finally, I'm doing my own demo for my personal saber. I just really think this saber is cool. I'm really proud of Benji because he got to design something, work with a guy like Leon, which is super cool to work with, see that saber go into production, and then I was actually able to get one of his sabers. It's just a really cool thing for anybody that's in this hobby, whether you're an installer or just whatever, you know, to be able to design a hilt and then have it put out into the community and see people enjoy it is a wonderful thing. So yeah, very proud of that dude. Very thankful to Leon for doing the run, and you know, I'm very happy to own it. So yeah, I'm doing a few videos on it. So, all right, but this is the chassis. Also very cool to work with Carlos on my saber run, and it was very cool to do his chassis that he designed for this particular saber. It's just chock full of details. So this right here would be the battery cover. All right, so if we take this cover off, we've got a removable 18350 battery. This particular piece is held on with 6 magnets. So we just slap that down and it stays in place. This is our crystal chamber right here. So we have 3 crystals. You've got a main crystal here, and then you've got your 2 down here. I wired all of these independently, and they all do something a little bit different. Although I do have 2 of them a silver color, and then I have one green for emerald. I think I'll go back and I'll change one of the silver ones to blue, just because I want to have 3 different colors going on here. All right, so that's probably a change that I'll make before I go on my trip and I send this out. But for now, all of them light up, and I'll show you that here in a second. There was a slight change to better fit the 28mm speaker. So this is a 28mm Smokers Outpost Elite speaker. Fits in there very nice. When you flip it over here, this is the board cover. All right, so you could take this off as well. This is held on with, I think, 8 magnets. All right, you can see my wiring in here. It's not something that I like to show. I usually like to hide my wiring, but on this particular build, that is impossible to do. It's hid by the board cover. That's what hides the wiring. All right, that is just what we've got going on here. One more thing I might do, because my chassis was slightly different than Leon's, I find that I have a little bit more room when I have my board cover on, where I didn't have any room with his, right? So I actually had to put a piece of electrical tape over his board, because if I didn't, the board cover was touching some of the pins and grounding them out. I don't have that problem at all. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go back also before I go on my trip, and I'm going to add a 3-strip Neopixel accent right on top of the board right there, so that I get a little bit of additional shine through in this graded area that's right on top of the board, if I can get my camera to focus. So you can see how you can see the board through there. That's a nice opportunity for some shine through. There's some holes right here. I may try to shine those. I'm not sure yet. But there's a little something extra I want to do to this guy before I take off with it. But for now, it's all working. I'm very happy with how it came out. We can come over here and flip our switch. I just have the one sound font on here for now. So this is the Son of Corellia by Jesse over at Kyberphonic, and then Benji as well. They both collaborated on this particular font. So as you can see, we've got our crystals pulsing. We've got our red and green arrows going back and forth. And everything's on a timer, right? So if we don't turn on the saber within about 40 seconds, everything will turn off. I'll go ahead and I'll show that here. Just like that, right? Just like that. We'll turn off again. So yeah, we'll turn the light off so you can see that crystal chamber. I just think it's super cool. It was a little bit of a cram food job to get all 3 of these crystals in, but after they're in, I mean, it looks super cool, man. As you can see, I got one of the smaller crystals green, and I've got the other 2 silver. That camera is not going to like trying to zoom in on that, but that's okay. That's what we've got going on. All right, so we'll go ahead and throw our handle on. Lock it down. I'll go ahead and I'll turn it off with the kill switch. Having that external kill switch is so nice. I have it on a few sabers. I actually got the idea from Benji. I have it on a few like Graflex 2.0 conversion type of sabers, Scrap Flexes and Star Killers and stuff like that. But to actually have it built into the saber, where it looks like it's supposed to be there and it's part of the aesthetic, is very cool, right? Now when we flip that on, this saber has some excellent sound resonance. I mean, that thing is screaming. When it's on, I've got the green light staying on, but my red will pulse, all right? I got twist off. I'm going to throw a blade in here. Normally I would use my smaller TriStar test blade, but I wanted to go ahead and put a big blade in this guy and swing it around a little bit. This saber is so heavy. I mean, you could have a 20-inch diameter blade that was 40 inches long, and it would still be, you know, heavy over here by the handle, but it feels really good. This thing is as solid as can be. Some blade lock up. Right here, right? Now it's here. The bottom of the bottle. solid flash on flash. Again. We got the speeder bike soundtrack, right? It's a long press on the power. All right, so we'll go ahead and we will break this down. Take the battery, we'll go ahead. Well, actually, we can just flip it off from here, which is awesome, right? Again, flip it off just like that, right? But we'll take the blade out of here. You don't even have to take the handle off to do anything because we have an external kill switch. I'm going to leave the battery in there. It is a fully charged 18350. I'm not going to take it out, but that is basically, you know, my Corran horn. This is the second Corran horn I have from Benji. One I have back behind me. You don't see it, but it's on a shelf in the back corner. That was one that he made me from scrap parts, which is really cool. And then I've got this one. I plan on bringing them both. But very fun to do. A very cool hilt. It's a very cool chassis also. So I had a lot of fun doing this, and this will be a treasured piece of my collection. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you enjoy the new thumbnails for these videos. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. All right, but anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks.